Hi, I'm Max Evans, and this is Begging for God's Compassion by Tukaram. The world has bothered me no end. I've lain in the womb in my mother's belly. I become the beggar who begs at the doors of 8,400,000 Yonis. I live like a slave in someone else's hands. I'm caught and swirled in the powerful snare of all my deeds, done now and in earlier births, whose fruits stick to me to ripen now and later. My belly's empty and there's no rest, no destination, no resting place, no hometown. Lord, don't spin me like this. I've lost my strength. My soul sputters in torment, like a grain of rice on a hot griddle. So many times have gone by like this, and I don't know how many more lie ahead of me. They come around again and again without a break. Maybe the string will snap only when the world ends. Who will take away such anguish from me? On whom can I press my burden? Your name ferries us across the world's ocean, but you hide in a hole, waiting in ambush. Strike me now. Run me over, O Narayana. Do this for me, impoverished wretch that I am. Don't ask a man without goodness for good things. Tuka begs for your compassion. Now, in verse 1, Tuka, as he is popularly known, seems to be bemoaning his physical births he's had to experience and the 8,400,000 total wombs he must pass through before the earthly cycle is broken, before his karma is fulfilled and he is joined with God. In verse 2, he feels like he has no control over his life. The deeds of his previous lives and of his current life are sticking to him like fruit waiting to ripen now and later. The fruit of his past lives revisiting him in this life via karma, and the fruit of the deeds of this life being stored up once again as karma for future lives. He has, in verse 3, he has no satisfaction, no rest. He feels homeless. He feels like he doesn't have a goal, a destination. The constant reincarnation, the being born over and over and over, seems to have no point to him. He feels like God is jerking him around. In verse 4, the constant rebirth cycle is growing tedious and wearisome. He doesn't seem to know how long he can continue on in this cycle. It's just really getting to him. And in verse 5, he's looking for relief, for someone to take his burden from him. He feels like God is the one that he can count on to carry him across the world's ocean, as he says. Yet he's lying in ambush, so he feels like God is being somewhat deceptive. And in verse 6, he's finally just asking God to strike him down, to give him the relief that he seeks. He is so weary, he is so over the whole experience of being born over and over and over. He just wants this particular life to come to an end so that he can just get on with it. And he seems to think that God is asking too much from him, asking for goodness out of someone who he believes can't give him goodness. And thus he is begging for God's compassion in the act of him striking him down and relieving him of this burden of constant reincarnation. That's the whole poem. The whole point of the poem is just an emphasis on the cycle of reincarnation and karma, the whole futility that he feels in the process. Apparently, in this poem at least, he doesn't seem to see the point. He doesn't see the spiritual value in the process. All he sees is the wearisomeness of the process, the physical, the physically draining aspect of it, and the misery that he's going through in his experiences in life. The loss of his first wife, and then the poverty that he went into, and basically being ostracized in his village. He feels like this is just too much, and he just wants it to be over. Thus he is asking for God's compassion in this particular poem. And I noticed in some of his other poems he has a very similar theme. This is obviously something that has weighed heavily on him for a great deal of his life, apparently. So that is Begging for God's Compassion by Tukaram, by me, Max Evans. Thank you.